Hola a todos, bienvenidos, ¿cómo están? Espero que estén muy contentos, al igual que yo. Estoy muy emocionada por la entrevista del día de hoy. Hoy tenemos una entrevista divertidísima. Les quiero recordar a los que no se han suscrito a este canal, por favor, suscríbanse. Recuerden que siempre tengo videos cada semana y además tengo entrevistas como esta increíbles. El día de hoy vamos a hacer una cosa muy especial. Voy a leerle a nuestro invitado los primeros 5 superchats que haya en esta entrevista. Para los que no saben cuál es el superchat, en la barra de comentarios, abajo van a encontrar un símbolo de pesos y cualquier persona que haga donación, los primeros 5, sin importar el monto, le voy a leer sus comentarios a Vincent. Hi everyone, I want to welcome you to Cafecito con Masha. Today we have an amazing interview with an awesome skater. I want to remind you to subscribe to this channel. Remember that I have new videos each week and also amazing interviews such as today's interview. Today I'm gonna read at the end of the interview the first 5 super chats, any donation that people make to this channel. I'm gonna read those comments to Vincent. So I'm gonna introduce our guest for today, and we have the amazing Vincent Zhou. Vincent, how are you today?
Hi, Masha. It's great to be on your channel. Thank you. I'm really excited. I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing great, so excited. Let me tell you that people is crazy about this interview. I didn't know you have a huge fan club in Japan. So many people in Japan contacted me and they were so excited about this interview. I mean, usually my audience is from Latin America or United States, some people from Spain, but now, because of you, I have so many people from Japan and China, and I'm so happy and so excited. They love you. I mean, they adore you.
Well, I mean that's lovely to hear. And yeah, I have so many wonderful fans all around the world, and I'm extremely grateful for them. And to any fans watching this right now, hi, and thank you for tuning in. And remember, subscribe. She posts new videos every week, and they're great. So yeah.
Thank you, Vincent. So I want to start with some questions. Why did you start skating? I mean, what inspired you to start skating?
Well, so when I was 5.5 years old, I went to a friend's birthday party at the local outdoor ice rink, and it was lots of fun. That's actually a picture of me at that rink that I first started in.
Oh, really?
Um, yeah, that's the very rink I started in, and that was you see my blue rental skates there. That's me at my first junior nationals, and that's me with Tammy Gamble many years ago. Um, yeah, no, I just really loved going fast right away. Um, when I started group lessons at age 6, or just before I turned 6, um, I would be like zooming around the rink while all the other kids were holding onto the boards, crying, and trying to trying to go to their mom. Um, so because I wouldn't listen to the instructor, my mom enrolled me in private lessons with a coach who was willing to teach me from the ground up, and that's how my skating career started.
So what was it about figure skating that got your attention?
Um, it was a few things. Number one, it was going fast on the ice and racing with my friends and being able to beat them. And number two, it was the fake snow machine, because they would have like a fake snow machine that would pour out like soap snowflakes onto the ice, and I would always enjoy playing under there. So those were the two things that drew me to skating initially. Um, but later on, I had lots of learning the cool things and the jumps and spins and turns. There was just so much to learn, and it was really uh, fascinating, and it inspired me to work hard to learn them.
Wow, that's so incredible. So, through your career, you had overcome some injuries. You had a surgery on your knee, right, and a shoulder dislocation. So, has it been physically hard to keep training at your level?
So training at this level is a challenge for pretty much everyone. And over time, top athletes learn how to deal with injuries and train smarter while still working hard and getting the necessary repetitions done. Um, for it definitely has been difficult for me as well. I've done a lot of learning about myself and my body over the last few years, learning what works in training and what doesn't. Um, and now we have with help from US figure skating and the resources they provide, I have a much faster and more efficient way to deal with injuries that might come up. So um, it's improved over the years. It was it wasn't very good before, especially because I was doing lots of difficult jumps at a young age. I mean, I had already learned all my triples except for the triple axel by age 10.
Oh my
Um,
God, really?
yeah, so it was very difficult at first because I would always have pains
Yeah,
and I had surgery at age 12, and then I missed 2 years of nationals,
yeah.
and then when I came back, when you come back to skating and you start trying hard things again, things start hurting again. So it's never really been an easy journey in terms of injuries. And then over the past few summers, um, I've had unfortunate accidents that result in injuries. Like last spring, during a Stars on Ice show, I backstage I took a fall and that resulted in a torn PCL. Um, I've dislocated both shoulders like 3 times each.
Oh,
So even when you have a plan, even when you're prepared, accidents still happen and unfortunate injuries still happen, and so then you just have to kind of roll with the punches and learn how to deal with it. You got to have a plan ready to carry out right away, and you have to be able to adapt and overcome. Like, if you get injured and you have a competition in 2 weeks, what do, right? You have to see your doctor right away. You have to get treatment right away, and then your first priority is figuring out whether it's even realistic or not to go for the competition, to try and compete at all. So over time, I've learned more about how to deal with injuries, and so hopefully, cross fingers, hopefully from now on it'll be a smoother ride than before.
I hope so. I mean, I can imagine that you're constantly in physical therapy to be stronger and to be healthier in your body, to keep jumping and doing all that stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow. So, how I know your dream was to go to the Olympics. So, how did you feel when you qualified? When you knew that you qualified for the Pyeongchang Olympics in 2018?
That the few days of nationals, which was Olympic qualifiers, essentially, those were probably some of the most stressful days of my life, and especially during and after the free skate. So in the free skate at nationals, I uh, I was the first in the last group to skate, which means that I I didn't know right away if if I had made top three or not.
Mm-hmm.
So and then so after I skated, and I skated well, but I made some mistakes. So I still it wasn't good enough of a performance to say definitely I'm in, right? And also all of the other people who are competing for the Olympic spots who have a big chance of making it have a better body of work argument than me. So for anybody who doesn't know anything about how Olympic selection works, U.S. nationals is the #1 criteria for determining who gets the Olympic spots. But beyond that, they also take into consideration major international competitions and results from the past few seasons, although those are weighted less than US nationals. So all the other competitors had had a bigger body of work, more results from previous major competitions than me, because it was actually my first year senior internationally when I
Yeah.
made the Olympic team. And so anyway, I after my skate, I walked over to I was gonna go to the locker room and take my skates off, but they asked me to stay in the viewing lounge so they could film like my live reactions to watching my competitors. So
Oh, that's
after the
crazy.
brief yeah, so after the brief press interviews after my skate, I went there and I had to sit and watch everyone skate, and like what even goes through your head at that moment, right? Like it's
Yeah.
not it's not it's not right to wish for your competitors to make mistakes, but at the
Mhm.
same time there's a part of you that hopes that somebody will, because if everyone skates clean, I'm not making it. They're better than me.
Yeah.
So there was a part of me that realized for me to make the team, other people had to make mistakes. And so skater after skater, people went. And then I remember Adam Rippon and Jason Brown both made big mistakes in their free skates,
Mhm.
and all of a sudden I thought I was in. I thought I was top three. I thought that was it. And then at the end of the group, Ross Minor skated clean and got 280 points out of nowhere and got second place.
Oh my God.
And so then, all of a sudden the tables turned, and now
Yeah.
people had to think about, wait, is Ross Minor going to go to the Olympics, right? So and they don't announce the results, the Olympic selection, until a few hours later. So I basically wasn't able to celebrate at all, even during the medal ceremony, because I didn't know if I had made the team. And so, I was just waiting in my hotel room after I was waiting and waiting. And my mom was so nervous too, because she was in the same hotel room as me. She was so nervous. She would like sit down and then get up and walk a few paces and then sit down again and then check her phone like obsessively. And and like I think 5 hours later or so, it was 12:31 a.m. and I was still wide awake. 12:31 a.m. and finally I got a text on my phone. My phone buzzed in my pocket, and I was like, it was the text message notification sound. I was like, is this just someone else saying congratulations, or is this the one? And I looked at it and it said, congratulations, Vincent, you have been nominated to the 2018 Olympic team.
Oh,
And
oh my God.
and and that was probably the most exciting moment in my whole life. um
Wow.
I don't
Get
know if
goosebumps.
yeah, yeah, so that was just like, so much. It's just like my whole life has just led up to this one moment.
Yeah.
Every minute I've been on the ice, every second I've ever skated, every program I've ever done, every jump I've ever done, every workout I've ever done, every minute in the gym, every decision has just led up to this one moment, and that's just the greatest feeling ever.
Wow.
And yeah, so no, that was I it's hard to describe in words. I'm just so proud of that moment. And so going to the Olympics was an absolute honor and a very humbling experience. And obviously, I had a great time at the Olympics. I skated well. So overall, the 2018 Olympic experience was just a dream come true. Absolutely.
How did your mom react with the text?
She was. I think she made a noise that I didn't know she was capable of making.
I can imagine. Wow, that's so great. Ah,
Yeah.
nice story. So, okay, now I want you to tell me, how was your whole Olympic experience from the opening ceremony, everything?
Yeah. So the opening ceremony actually isn't even the first thing. The opening ceremony was actually the night before some people's competitions. So
Mm,
some skaters weren't able to go, I think. But I mean, that's a once in a lifetime or hopefully twice in a lifetime for me experience. experience for me. So I decided I have to go. Um, well, the first Olympic memory for me is walking into the athlete village and seeing all the big so they have like athlete dorms for each country that are built like structured like high-rise buildings, and then they like hang enormous flags of the countries over the draped over the top of the buildings, hanging down each side. And so my when I first walked into the athlete village, it was just all these all these tall athlete quarters around me with flags from countries all over the world around me. And just that was so, all of a sudden I was like, this is so much more than just I'm here to skate. This is the best athletes in every sport from all over the world coming together to compete at the highest level competition in the history of the world. And that's just like when you realize that, it's so humbling, because
Of course.
you think you've made the Olympics, right? You've accomplished so much and you feel so proud of yourself. Then all of a sudden you enter this Olympic atmosphere with everybody who's, you know, even more accomplished and have even deeper stories and even longer stories around you. And all of a sudden you don't feel so significant anymore. And you're just surrounded by giants, right? So that was my
Wow.
first uh, feeling that I feeling at the Olympics. After that, the opening ceremony. I mean, just being in. So before we walk out into the stadium, there's like a big tent um, where all the athletes stand and wait for their turn to walk out. And if you have a while to wait, then you can walk around and mingle with athletes from other countries and stuff. So um, so you know, I my my friends and my Team USA skaters and I got to meet some, you know, some very famous athletes, and just see, you know, all the Olympic athletes in person in one building, and that was really cool. Um, when we went outside, it was like minus 21 degrees. It was freezing cold. So our opening ceremony outfits had like heated heated coats and stuff. So
Nice.
yeah, it was freezing, but despite the cold, I don't think anybody actually felt cold because we were all so excited and full of adrenaline
Yeah.
to walk out there in the enormous stadium. And I remember as we were filing into the tunnel, the entrance to the into the arena, everyone just all the Team USA athletes just started cheering and 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 whooping and celebrating, and it was so exciting.
Wow, that's
And like there's such a team feeling, a
mhm.
team spirit, and we walked out there, and it was just smile and wave and take in the music and the atmosphere, um and yeah, no, the there's there's no feeling in life like being at the Olympics. It's just so different and exciting. And um yeah, so competition was like in the middle of the day because TV in the US, I guess, I don't know. So we had our warm-ups in the morning at like 5 or 6 a.m. So we had to get up at like 3. I remember not being able to even sleep the night before,
Really?
and well, I didn't pull an all-nighter. I did fall asleep, but it took a while because I was just really nervous and 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 playing events and situations in my head and
Mhm.
thinking about possibilities and just mulling over, you know, what's going to happen tomorrow. Um, but when I woke up, when I woke up, my body and my mind just went into full competition routine. So that's like it's like just a routine that you've done so many times. I'm sure you know as a former competitor.
Mhm.
Um, it's a routine you've done so many times that you you don't even have to think what to
No,
do next.
like
And so
autopilot.
yeah, on autopilot. So I just found myself going into that mode, and everything just felt, easy. And um, when I was on the ice, I was looking at the Olympic rings on the side of the boards, and just the Olympic rings alone just gave me, like, every time I looked at the rings, just a jolt of adrenaline just coursed through my body.
Oh
And
my,
I was like, this is it. And
empowered you?
and so when I when I did that free skate,
Empowered you.
sorry, what was that?
That the rings empowered you?
Yeah, they definitely did. And the audience was amazing too. I remember during at this final jump, they went crazy and they knew the program was almost ending. And at this moment, like when the audience starts to cheer and stand up, and you can hear it before your music even finishes, and like the sound of the standing ovation drowns out the music itself, that it's the most amazing thing ever. I remember in the final spin during the tuck position, I my eyes were open, but I couldn't even see. It was just like a haze of red, and I could feel like teardrops flying out of my eyes because I was so emotional. And then I ended, and it was just a feeling unlike anything else I've ever experienced before. I'm almost tearing up now thinking about it.
Oh my
But
God. That program was so emotional. I mean, what you're saying right now about the end, everybody could feel the emotions with you.
yeah, no, that there's something so special about skating as a sport, because in other sports you have like rounds and matches and stuff, but only in skating you have like a program like this where everything is so hard, and
Mm.
it's so hard to like do a clean program or a super good program. But when you actually do one, the feeling at the end is just like crazy good. And like the passion that comes out in these moments is what every skater, from the smallest toddler on the ice to the most accomplished world champion, it's what we all love about skating. So I mean, I'm lucky to have had this experience, and again, very honored to have been given the chance to compete at the Olympics and live out my dreams like that. So I'm I, I would say I don't have words to describe it, but I just said a lot of words. So
Uh, it's amazing. I mean, it's hard to describe this kind of emotional moments. It's so beautiful to watch.
yeah.
So you were the first skater to land a quad lots in the Olympics. So I can imagine that makes you very proud.
Yeah, I've gotten this question before in interviews, and it's funny. I always say, because it's true, I think the only reason I got that title is because my starting order was before Boyang Jin, who also did quadless. I always say that, but it's I mean it's true. But at the same time, I mean, I guess I'll talk a little bit about the quad lots and how I did it and why I do it. Um, when I was a junior, I didn't even think making the Olympics was possible. But then I got my quad lots, and then out of nowhere I won Junior Worlds.
Wow.
Um, People didn't expect me to win, but what happened was earlier in the season I was injured, my hip, and I wasn't able to do all my jumps at my junior Grand Prix. So so I wasn't able to show my full potential, and so people overlooked me, and they said, maybe the Russians will win Junior Worlds, maybe Jun Cha will win Junior Worlds. I don't know. Nobody knows. But my name was barely even in the conversation. And then, well, in the few months from the JGPs to Junior Worlds, I wasn't in the spotlight, but I was down there in the rink where nobody could see me working really hard and just, gathering all my energy and waiting to show it to everyone. And then at Junior Worlds, I came out and surprised everyone by doing 2 clean programs and a free skate with 3 quads, including the quad lutz, that set a world record. And I mean, I think to this day, there's people who are still surprised by that or unwilling to accept that result. I don't know. I that's in the past. I don't really, care about what people think about past results anymore. But anyway, after I did the quad lutz at Junior Worlds, I suddenly started to think, well, okay, quad lutz is the hardest jump anyone can do right now. And there's only a few people in the world who can do it. So if my technical ability is already up there, why can't I make the Olympics, right? So then it suddenly started to turn from like an impossible dream into a barely possible, like barely reachable dream, like a high wall that you're trying to climb and your fingertips can barely reach the top of it, Yeah. And so during Olympic year, because it was my first year senior internationally, I realized my components aren't going to go from here to here right away. That's a process that takes many years. Many skaters' components don't reach the Olympic qualification level until they've been senior for many years. So I realized the only way for me to get points to make the Olympic team is by learning more quads and getting points in technical content. So I had to start learning how to do quad lutz and quad flip in addition to sow and toe in my programs. And so that's the story of how I came to do quad lutz and how and why I did it in both programs at the Olympics.
Well, it was amazing.
Thank you.
So, okay, fast forward a little bit, you went to Brown University, and how was it hard to be in college and train at the same time?
Yeah, it was exceedingly difficult. I struggled a lot with having a foot in each world and trying to be the best at both. I was, Brown is in Providence in Rhode Island, and the nearest national level training area is in Boston with Mark Mitchell and Peter Johansson. Or Johansson, I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce the last name anyway. That's a bit of a drive. So the hours that I was commuting there and back happened to be rush hour both ways. So it was 4 hours drive each day to get 2 hours there, 2 hours back. So, and I was skating on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I had registered for classes. That only took place on Tuesday and Thursday. So this was the only way I could possibly, go to Boston to skate, right? So
you couldn't even train daily.
Right, and so I was having to skate both days in the weekend, which is my break from school and skating usually. So it was a complete adjustment from normal life where it's skating during the weekdays, and then the weekend is your break. Instead, I was, it was skating school, skating school, skating school. And so it was very difficult. And before long, I burned out, and I was staying up late trying to study, and then the next morning trying to get up early to go skating, and then also having to flip the light switch mentally, trying to turn my mind from study mode into training mode, and having to get motivated. And it was just so hard, and I ended up losing motivation to skate, and my skating was getting worse, and I wasn't able to do my jumps anymore, and I just slowly felt like I was losing my grasp on the all the progress and achievements I had made in the past few years.
Mhm.
And with midterms coming around in October, and with with the professors and class schedules not being as flexible as I had originally uh, in which I had originally planned for. um, I wasn't really able to skate. I wasn't able to go away for a week to compete, so I had to withdraw from my Grand Prix. And after that point, I just decided, you know what, for my own health, physical and mental, um, it's best that I stop skating for now.
Oh my God.
Um, so I stopped skating to try and focus on school. But
Mhm.
at that point, I was I had already been stressed out from the situation for so long. My mind was not in a good state, and then my my relationship with my parents over this situation had also worsened, and I was struggling with that and you know, trying to find myself and become my own person. And um, it was a very, very difficult time.
Yeah.
But then somebody near the end of the semester, somebody contacted me and was like, you know what, Vincent, I think you should talk to Lee Barkel. I've told him about you. He's willing to talk to you. And if you're willing to keep an open mind and consider, I know you, they were like, I know your passion for skating has declined in the past few months because of the extremely difficult situation.
Mhm.
And I know you're considering just going straight back to school and stopping skating altogether, but just hear me out and think about this, right? And so I called Lee and I talked to him a little, and we made an arrangement.
Mhm.
And at the time, I was extremely unsure if it would even work. I would at that point I was pretty much, if I stepped back on the ice, I could probably barely even do a triple jump. And so, when my semester ended, I decided to make the commitment, and I went to Toronto to the Granite Club to train with Lee. And stepping back on the ice and really relearning how to do crossovers and how to,
That
you
is so
know
hard.
right. And here's the thing: there is only 3 weeks until nationals.
Yeah,
3 weeks until
actually, I
nationals.
wanted to talk about that specific topic because
Yeah.
even though you stopped skating and you had so little time before nationals, you managed to do a great job and you got fourth place, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So I have I I have a lot to say about that too. So please bear with me, if you don't mind. So
Yeah.
um, yeah, so how Lee and I approached my training in those 3 weeks was, we basically said, okay, we're here right now. Here's
Mhm.
going to be nationals. Each week, we're going to identify what's realistic for you to start trying again. So, like this week, I'm going to try a triple axel again. The
Mhm.
following week, I'm going to try triple axel in the program, and I'm going to start trying quad sal out of the program. And the week after that, before nationals, I'm going to start trying quad sal in the program. So yeah, I didn't start trying quad sal in the program until the week before nationals. I didn't start landing it in the program until like the day before I left, and the practices at nationals. Um, and during that whole time, I was also spending a lot of time working on skating skills with Lori Nickel, my choreographer, and also with coaches on my spins and my stroking. And so I was trying to continue to work toward my goal of becoming an all-around skater.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that after the Olympics, after Olympic season, everybody just thought of me as somebody who did quads, just another talented kid who did quads but can't actually skate,
Mm-hmm.
right? And like I said, I talked earlier about why I had to do all the quads, right? Because I had to get enough technical score. But I was still planning to develop my components year by year. So I was following through this plan leading up to nationals, and it worked. I mean, Lee has a great team there, and Lori is so amazing at what she does, and she was able to bring out the best in me in my programs. And so I arrived at nationals, and honestly, I had no expectations.
Mm-hmm.
I was comparatively bad to what I could do before, that I had no expectations for myself. I didn't even think that I would make the final group in the free skate. Like I was prepared. I was prepared to get on the kiss and cry and hear your score is 60 points. You know, I was prepared for that possibility because I knew it was very real for the condition I was in. But all the past competition experience helped me because I was able to get into that competition mode again, where you step on the ice for the 6-minute warm up and all your jumps just feel so light and easier than they normally do,
Mm-hmm.
right? So then I realized I'm actually able to, you know, I feel like I can actually do this program with the quad style in it. And I just took it element by element, step by step, and I did what I could without, you know, feeling bad about not doing a quad lutz and a quad flip, you know, or 2 quads in a program. And then I approached the free skate the same way. You know, I I didn't expect myself to skate clean. I didn't expect myself to do 5 quads or 4 or 3 or even 2. I just wanted to do 1 quad, and that was already a huge accomplishment for me.
Yes, of course.
And 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 then, you know, it was when I skated clean, it was super emotional and exciting in a different way than the Olympics. It wasn't that I had done a crazy thing that, you know, that that tons of people aren't able to do. It wasn't like that. It was it was like it was like I fought my own battle and I overcame it. I won a battle with myself. It
Yeah.
wasn't I won a battle with other people. I won a battle with myself. And that taught me, like, I learned so much from nationals. I learned that, you know, you don't have to do a crazy number of quads to
No.
feel proud of your skating. You don't have to get 300 points to feel, you know, extremely accomplished and proud of yourself. So
Totally agree.
yeah, so the step-by-step process that Lee and I had leading up to nationals helped me gain a greater appreciation for the small steps, for the small achievements, for the everyday things that so many people overlook, that
Yeah.
you know, all the fans and spectators don't see. You know, like all they see is the few minutes you're out on the ice doing your program,
Yeah,
but
but they don't know what's behind that.
they don't see the hard work you do every week, the progress you make every week. And, you know, maybe last week you were barely able to, you know, do a triple axel, triple toe in the program, but but then the next week you finally accomplish it. And then all of a sudden the bigger picture just feels one step closer, you
Of
know?
course.
And that feeling is also very good. And I learned that feeling during that time.
Yeah.
And so during the time after nationals leading up to worlds, it was 5 or 6 weeks, and we just took the same process as before nationals. So the goal for worlds, again, it was ambitious, um, but I made myself believe it was possible. Uh, I, I I I said, you know, in these 5 weeks, if the first week I can start, you know, trying quad toe again, the next week I can start trying quad lutz again. The week
Mhm.
after that, I can start trying them in sections of the program.
Yeah.
The fourth week, I can start trying them in the program. the 5th week, hopefully I can land them in the program. A step-by-step process. and um, and I found myself, setting those goals for myself each week and building upon them. And all of a sudden, by the time Worlds came around, I thought maybe I have a chance. Last year at Worlds, at 2019 Worlds, when I won the bronze medal, I did 2 quads in the short and 3 in the long.
Mhm.
And so that was the highest goal I had set for myself for this 5 or 6 week period from nationals to Worlds. And I told myself, if I make this amount of progress each week, this seems realistic, then I can get to that point by the time Worlds comes around. So it was a very structured, planned out process, and it worked. And so when Worlds was canceled, instead of being excited that I wouldn't have to embarrass myself, I was actually extremely disappointed, because I wanted to show everyone how much I had improved in such a short time. And unfortunately, I didn't get that opportunity. So yeah, then lockdown happened, and then here we are.
Well, you're back on the ice, so hopefully we can see your progress pretty soon. I mean, not many people know how difficult it is to start competing again after a time of no competing.
Mhm.
People think it's kind of easy, but it's not. I mean, even mentally, like psychologically, it's hard, because when you compete every year, every competition you get, like you compete a year, maybe, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 competitions a year, and when you stop, it's like the rhythm in your body, in your mind, changes. It clicks differently. So when you come back to competitions, it's so difficult to to get the rhythm again.
Yeah, and that's where experienced skaters have a big advantage over less experienced skaters. Is that if you're more experienced, you know what it feels like. It's more ingrained in your body, so you're able to rediscover it more quickly. Yeah, so actually, uh, earlier I was lucky enough to be able to do a small local competition here in Colorado. Um, it's just a small competition. It was the first competition of the season, for many people, and it was kind of a test event. Everyone was following proper guidelines, and also health related concerns weren't really a big issue for the skaters. But
Mhm.
um, everyone expected to skate horribly because, first of all, we had a few months off the ice. Second of all, nobody's competed in so long that a lot of people probably forgot how to compete. And so for me, I had just gotten my free skate choreographed like 2 weeks ago. Um, and I was, or actually no, I think it was even one and a half or so.
Mhm.
I didn't have, it was only a matter of days training my program before that competition. But anyway, it was kind of like a test run for me, just try and get back in my groove, try and feel it out, try and, get on practice ice and get the adrenaline flowing and see if I'm able to, you know, do feel like I'm at a bigger competition. And I was actually able to rediscover that feeling
Mhm.
relatively quickly. And in the actual competition, I skated really well. Um, I got a new personal best in the short program, and and I skated a pretty good free skate as well. I actually only done a full free skate run through with elements once prior to the competition, but I I almost skated clean. I so I I landed a quad toe, but then I like slipped off the edge, and all of a sudden I was on my butt. And then also in the choreographed step sequence at the end of the program, my toe pick hit my pants and I tripped because I wasn't able to put my foot down. So I got 2 falls. Um, and lots of deductions. So I actually did the math, and if I had stated a clean program, I would have gotten close to, or might have been at 300 points. So it was a very good start for the season. And the way I'm approaching this season is basically everything is a preparation, a building block towards the 2022 Olympics. So, you know, even worlds this coming worlds is going to be just another step towards
Yes,
the Olympics. Yeah, and so obviously it's going to be a very important thing. It's going to be a huge competition. It's going to be a big mental thing. But it's just, if I can medal again, if I can reclaim my medal at Worlds this year with enough hard work and with the right circumstances, I have faith in my capability to win that medal. I just need everything to work out right. But if I'm able to medal again at this year's Worlds, then I know I have a chance of medaling at the Olympics, which has always been a dream. And I accomplished a lot with my performances at the 2018 Olympics, and that's a gold medal in my heart. Even though I may have not gotten a medal from that Olympics, it's a gold medal in my heart. But beyond that, now it's time to take it to the next level and actually fight for an Olympic medel. And I'm ready to fight for that medal. And I can feel, I remember the year of the 2018 Olympics, every single day I just had this this fire in my belly, this passion and this hunger for that Olympic spot. And then after the Olympics, after it was all over, it was like a big drop, and then it was kind of hard to regain that kind of spirit, that fire and that passion. And so now I found it again. And when I go out in the ice and train, I can feel the Olympic spirit like flowing in my veins. I can feel like it feels like this is what my destiny is, to do this, to make the Olympics, to fight for a medal. And so so I'm really excited to see what the next year or two holds.
I stopped hearing you. Give me 1 second. I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, guys, hold on 1 second. I can't hear anything. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I can't hear you.
I just muted and
I don't know what's going on. Guys, wait 1 second. I don't know what's going on. Okay, Vincent, talk.
Hello? Hello, hello, hello.
Sonido se nos fue, no sé qué pasó.
Nada mal. Gracias.
Dificultades técnicas con el audio. Oh, I hear you again.
Okay.
We're back, I think.
Hello?
Great, awesome.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. Vincent, I am so inspired about everything you're saying. I mean, I'm sure you can fulfill your dream. I think you're ready. You have the level, you have the skills, you have the heart. And I think that's one of the most important things. So I really wish you that you can get your Olympic medal, because I'm sure you can.
Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. Thank you.
I know that you have to go, but I promised your fans, I would read to you some of the comments. So you can give small answers, because I don't want to steal more of your time, but some of your fans have some questions. So one of your fan clubs is asking, Vincent's relaxing playlist 2017 selected by yourself. Andrew T did Be Together as his list. Coincidences?
Maybe a little bit. That, by the way, that I remember that playlist. That playlist is old and out of date. Also at the time, so I didn't use Spotify at the time, and US Figure Skating used Spotify to search the songs that I listed. But I didn't know that some of those songs actually aren't on Spotify. So they use some like different versions or whatever. I don't know. So that playlist isn't entirely accurate, but no, me and Andrew have somewhat overlapping music taste. So maybe a little bit of coincidence. Not, maybe
Okay.
not. I don't know. Yeah.
So the next question, they're saying something about a t-shirt, aerial challenge and fantasy on ice. Is that a gift?
Fantasy aerial challenge t-shirt. I know. Okay, so I do have a fantasy on ice t-shirt, and yeah, that was a little present from when I was in Japan training with Mie Hamada. I forgot exactly. I think it was Mie who gave it to me actually. But yeah.
Okay. And they're saying about another t-shirt, white t-shirt on Carnival on ice.
Yeah, that's my t-shirt. Anything specific about it?
No, they're just saying they just wrote that. It
Oh,
says white t-shirt on Carnival on ice.
why or white?
It says why.
Why?
Yeah, I have
Oh,
no, yeah, but maybe
I don't.
they will clear that for us. Okay, so I'll go to the next question, and I think it's the last one. Gote Hanabi says, I want to know about your new program and costume. I don't know if you can talk about that.
Well, so I'm going to be doing the US Figure Skating ISP Points Challenge, which will be live streamed. There was a first round. There's a second round that I'm doing, and it'll be live streamed. I think next week, sometime, where I'll be doing my new programs again with costume on. So just if you just watch that live stream. I think US Figure Skating will tweet about it. So go to their Twitter. Disclaimer: I have been going through a little stuff in the last 2 weeks, so maybe I won't be as good as I want to be, but I'll do my best. And you get to see my new free skate costume. Actually, my short program costume hasn't arrived yet. But yes, my new costume is for the free skate is pretty cool. I like it a lot, so I'm excited to show my program with it. Yeah.
Yay, that is awesome. I think even if you're not at your best, you're awesome. You're amazing. So I don't think your fans will be angry or anything. They love you, and we love you all. So don't worry.
Thank you so much.
No, this has been so great. These were all the questions from your fans. The audience is very happy. Everybody's saying hi. They say they're proud of you. Thanks for this interview, and so many comments and all. So Vincent, this was great. I'm honored to have you here in Cafecito con Masha. This has been awesome. I admire you. You're an awesome skater. And I really wish you the best. I think you will do great things in this sport.
Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for tuning in and watching. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Have an awesome day. Gracias
Bye-bye.
a todos. No olviden suscribirse. Love you. Bye-bye.